This is not complicated. We have seen most of this information. At this point, I do not understand why this hasn't been declassified. The president said declassify immediately without redaction.
That's House Intel Chair Devin Nunes questioning the DOJ's delay in releasing documents that President Trump ordered to be declassified this week. Former DOJ prosecutor James Trusty joining us now. Jim, good to see you. What do you think is holding all this up?
I don't know that it's anything unusual, David. I suspect that what we're talking about is the intelligence agencies giving it a last scrub. And really what they're looking to do is to make sure that there's not manners of surveillance that are disclosed unnecessarily or individuals' names who might be in danger. So these are kind of institutional concerns. I don't suspect it'll take a long time.
Let me suggest a little more conspiratorial possibility that the DOJ does have egg on its face with regard to Bruce Orr, his wife's relationship to Fusion GPS, to the Trump dossier, et cetera, the way in which Bruce Orr was spreading it all. That some of that information, some of their dirty laundry, may come out with these documents. That they want to prevent that. Is that a possibility?
Well, it's always conceivable, but the reason I guess I don't leap to make that conclusion is it's really a different administration's baby. I mean, the DOJ officials that were in charge during that time frame are different than the folks that are in charge right now. I don't think they have a vested interest in protecting the world from knowing about perhaps some misconduct by their predecessors. You
know, one thing that's happened, Melissa and I have talked about this before, so often when they say that the documents have to be scrubbed for vital national security secrets, when they come out, there's not a secret in them. I mean, is it possible they're just being overly cautious?
I think it's fair. I mean, I was with DOJ for 17 years, and I had at least a part in a few of these moments where you were looking through documents for FOIA requests for disclosures. I think that they do play it a little conservative. There's times where they probably take too much out. Right. I don't know that that's anything particularly sinister, but that's probably their starting point, is to be institutionally a little bit paranoid about how much gets out. But I think it's coming out. And, you know, the only other way it would come out, it would be clean, is if it was in the middle of a criminal case. Right. That doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Right, right. Let me switch over to the Kavanaugh confirmation, if I am, because as you well know, we're in the middle of a process of whether she's going to testify or not. Dr. Ford, they want a full FBI investigation, even though there have already been some, and even though there are people in the Senate Judiciary Committee who are investigating right now, probably doing exactly what an FBI investigation would be doing. And the larger point here is we've seen the FBI get in so much trouble when you put them smack in the center of a hugely political controversy. They want to do that again right now. Do you think that's wise?
Well, look, the political component seems pretty obvious, right? I mean, Chris Wray, as the director, does not want to have the FBI just acting as kind of a Praetorian Guard where they go out and investigate whatever they're told to investigate. The legal part of that is very clear. There's no federal crime under any circumstance. So they're really going outside their lane if they were to do an investigation. And the primary investigation here is by the Senate. The Senate has the authority to investigate, to question, to bring people in. They seem to be doing that, so why would we bend the rules and have the FBI do something beyond their charter?
Well, and there is another problem, because as we saw with Peter Strzok and other members of the FBI who seem to allow bias to affect the way they did their investigations, there's a problem. I know it may be unfair, but it's hanging over the FBI right now, and there would be judgments that would have to be made by FBI agents investigating this, no?
Well, I think the day is coming where a lot of this is going to see daylight. Again, for the FISA applications, if Carter Page had been charged, there'd probably be a vehicle to really hash all this out very openly, which is a criminal case. Yeah. We're left with a different set of processes. And I got to tell you, I talked to a lot of FBI agents. They're not at all supportive of some of the leadership activity of the Comeys and the McCabe's and the Strokes. So, you know, you can't brush the entire FBI as having a problem when it was people that were in kind of the political class of the FBI that created this issue.
James Trusty, great point. Great points all. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.